Okay, Tuyan, so we're going to try to do what we need to do to switch over from V5 React Router DOM to V6 because V5 changed probably in, I don't know, late 2021, early 2022. So it's good to make changes. And sometimes when you're having weird errors, I mean, I've seen a bunch of different weird messages show up that were actually related to this. So maybe it'll solve the larger problems. So the first point is to just make sure you don't have a duplicate package JSON on the outside. So if you scroll down in the file structure on the left, you do actually have a duplicate file package JSON, package lock JSON, and node modules all on the outside. So scroll down to the bottom and you'll see your package JSON out there. It probably doesn't have much in it. Yeah. So that's probably safe to delete. But one of the things I tell people is if you don't want to delete it, just change the name to package.txt. Then the file will still be there. And if there's something there that you want to reference, you can go back and reference it. If you are very confident there's nothing that you want, then later you can delete it. So package.txt.
TXT, like that.
And then we're going to delete the file right above it because that's not necessary. Everything should be operating out of the client folder. And then we're going to delete the node modules folder that's below the log folder. That's also not necessary and could be getting in the way of something. And just for fun, let's go to your client side server and shut it down. And then do, now my preference is to CD into client instead of using the prefix client tag to do the work, because then sometimes you forget and then so if you just move yourself into client, then you do npm install. It shouldn't really take long because nothing is really, we didn't change anything in this folder. We're just giving it a chance to kind of sort out the fact that there's different stuff. I always like to run npm audit fix, because it's a very low level of like management of just making sure things that aren't matching do match. And then let's do npm client. And then let's just see if any of the error messages are resolved simply with that issue. No, sorry, npm start. What am I talking about? npm client. Okay. And then we'll go back to the browser over here and clear out those messages. And then I would just, go back to the root directory maybe. Okay, and we're logged in, and it does actually look like we're not getting any of those messages.
Yeah.
But now we are. Or are those different things?
Oh no, what is this? So this is something different. It just happened.
This is actually the T body error, I think, if we look.
Yeah, the T head and T body.
Right. But the other message is actually gone now, which is good.
Yeah, so let's see. Log out. Oh, but my logout isn't working.
Okay. So there's a couple of things still to fix. But anyways, we've made some progress. Let's still do the upgrade. So basically, first step is go to the package JSON, the real one, in the sort exactly. And let's look at your dependencies. You're using 5.3.4, and if we go to a browser and you do a search on React Router DOM, let's get the most current version. I think it's 6.14.1 maybe, but anyways, just look up React Router DOM.
I think it's version 6.14.1.
Yeah, let's just, so you can just change out line 12 instead of 5.3.4, you can say 6.14.1.
6.14.1.
Okay. And now if we shut down the client side server again and do npm install, we'll go back to our package JSON and kind of look at what we have, update our package lock. So if you look at the package lock, it should now say something about a different version. There it is. Good. So now let's do npm start. Now things are going to break at this point because there are a few important differences between the language that they used. So for instance, and we can just roll through this we should be able to roll through this given what they provide us here. But let's do some of the low-hanging fruit first. In app, the major change is that when you say, here's my client-side routes, you don't use switch, you use something called
Routes, right?
routes.
Yeah.
So in the app.js, we're going to switch in the declaration there. We're bringing in routes.
Routes.
And then we'll change switch and close switch to routes and close routes. And then since we got the documentation tab pulled up, go back to that tab so you can get a visual of what the route looks like, because the route syntax is different too. So in that fourth tab, go to the React Router DOM.
The React Router DOM.
Switch that we made in browser, you've got a tab for React Router DOM. No, in the actual browser, it's your fourth tab next to, you're in VS Code. Go to Chrome. Yeah, the fourth tab is the React Router DOM search we did.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, and then just click on, I think, where is it? Let's back up and just click another option here, because this is the NPM information. It's not the one we want. So press back. Yeah, React Router. It's the next result.
This one right here?
Yep. Okay, so it's got a lot of information, and of course, one of your things is getting more comfortable with documentation, but generally the one I think that's most helpful, if you scroll down to components on the left, there is it's the subheading component. So keep going. Yeah. If you go to routes, that is the one I think that's the most helpful to see how it's changed. So now, if you look at this example, it gives you a couple of different ones. But for instance, the bottom one that says route path about element equals about page, you see that? That's what a route looks like now. So instead of having the way it is in V5, you say, here's my route, my path, and then you put the component in between the closing and opening route tags. Here, route is a self-closing tag, and you have an attribute called element equals, and then that's what you do. So let's go try to fix the first one.
Okay, so right here.
Yep, you can take that off. Yep.
It's just like that.
Yep. And then in front of event edit form, you have a closing angle bracket that you need to get rid of. Same line. Yep. Take off that closing. Yep. And then put space element equals open curly braces and wrap up event edit form in curly braces. Okay. So that's what you need to do for all the other ones. Just to check to make sure nothing else is broken, let's comment out 19 through 22. And then I can't remember whether we were logged in or not, but I guess we're going to find out. Let's make the switch for that one. Login form. Okay, let's go look at the login form. Aha. So the error here is pointing to use history. This is a common one that needs to change. So
It would become use navigation.
Oh, you got it. You know all about this stuff, right? So you change it to use navigate, and then it's a little bit different. Use you were ready to use navigate.
And then we don't use a dot push.
Exactly right. Yep.
Yeah.
What
and then
else?
it's the same for the sign up form and stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop there because I actually have to go to another meeting, but I hope that fixes things. You got to change your other routes, get all the other use histories out of there. You
Yeah.
should be able to just kind of follow the problems and find out the lines that you have to change. And then let me know if the T-body error keeps popping up. Okay, we can meet again and talk about it.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for letting me record that.